Hello, today I wanted to make a video on the Prashna. The Prashna and the Ghanaandam are other chapters in Naadi. Those who have followed my videos or who've had a Naadi reading have heard about the general chapter reading, which is the first reading that is done for you. That summarizes all the other chapters which are in the Naadi. Now, most people don't even know that there are many chapters of the Naadi, and there could be more than one chapter written for you in this book. It's like a book with many chapters. And once your leaf is found, the general chapter is always read first, and it has to be read before any of the other chapters are opened, because the general chapter has your ID and it's used as a key to open the other chapters. Today I'll briefly cover the Prashnakandam and I'll also talk to you about the Gyanakandam. So the Prashnakandam is about asking 5 questions. Usually it's 5 questions. Sometimes it can be more from the Naadi. This is basically the Q&A chapter, as I mentioned. It's pronounced Prashnakand or Prashnakandam. Prashna means questions. Kand means chapter or section. And each chapter is its own separate bundle. So once they have your ID from the general chapter reading, the time that you ask the question, so what they do is they make a birth chart for your questions, because you mark the time that you ask the questions, that is the birth of the questions, and they'll make a sky chart from that time that you wrote the questions. And then using the ID and the sky chart for when the question was asked, the Naadi reader has to go and find the leaf in the Prashna bundles. And it's a very tedious task because they have to go leaf by leaf and have to see, okay, is there a leaf that matches the time this person asked the questions? Now, I just want you to halt here and realize the amazing and astounding reality of this is that these sages, thousands of years ago, knew that you will ask these 5 questions on this date and time. It's truly mind-boggling. It's unimaginable. How can these sages know that this person will come along in, say, May 1st, 2026, and at this time and ask these 5 questions? And when my Prashnakandam is read, the sequence in which I have asked the questions, the answers also come in that sequence. So just pause here and just try to understand the magnitude of this, sort of almost like a miracle to me. Anyway, so the leaf is then searched because the answers are pre-written. And so if the answers are found, then they are read out to you. I have personally found the answers to be very useful. Sometimes I found them more useful than the Naadi reading because they address a current concern. It could be a burning question. It could be a topic that was not covered. It's something that you need an answer for in detail, which was covered as a summary, or something that may have been skipped in the Naadi, that you want an answer on. So here is how you go about doing it, and these are my tips on how to frame these questions. You write the time when you start writing these questions in Indian Standard Time. So before you start writing, mentally make a list of the topics that you want to ask before you start writing it. And then then the 5 questions. It can be on 5 topics each, and each one can have a series of questions. Like when, where, how, etc. So this is just an example I have given here. So this is 5 questions that were written November 2nd, 2025 at 10:34 a.m. in Indian Standard Time. The first question is, when will I get a job? Where will it be? Will I like my job and succeed there? So this is about a job. So it can be, the first thing could be on finances or investment, this is job related. The second question can be on some other topic. This one here is about should I sell my house? When should I sell my house? Where should I move? And such. So you see, you can ask 5 questions like this. Another could be on health, one could be on children, another one spiritual life, and so on. And anything in general as well. It doesn't have to be personal questions. You can ask a question on general knowledge that you want. If you want to ask about the world, if you want to ask about somebody else, if you anything under the sun is fine. But it's not necessary that you will find your answers. When the seeker's intentions are good, it depends on with which intentions are you seeking answers. If it's just from curiosity and you're testing and you just want to experiment and just randomly ask 5 questions, let me just keep asking questions, then it's not a sincere question. When the questions are founded in faith, in purity, and an earnestness that you really need these answers, then usually you will find the leaf. Again, these are just my suggestions to show you how to write these questions, and you can choose your own topics. Anything is fine. And so that is about the Prashnakandam. Now, there are many other chapters, like I mentioned. One other chapter that I want to mention here is the Ghanaandam, which literally translates to the spiritual chapter, and which literally translates to a chapter on wisdom. But it's more about your spiritual life, your spiritual journey, and it has guidance for you about on your spiritual path. Like, for example, it can give you certain techniques to practice. It can tell you about your masters, your gurus, who they are. It can tell you what to do. For example, if there are certain pujas you have to do, certain mantras you have to chant, when you should do it, which days you should do it. Like I said, it could also mention follow the teachings of a certain guru. And then it goes age by age. Sometimes it's more general, but then the more detailed ones go age by age, and they tell you your spiritual progress as you grow older. And it can also give you some suggestions on special places, of spiritual temple, these like, for example, go to a certain temple, or go on a pilgrimage, or go to certain areas which are very special, highly energetic places to go. For example, like certain places are associated with certain rishis and siddhas. They could be portals, they could be energy centers and such, and so on and so forth. So it will tell you what is your spiritual life purpose, and anything that's related to knowledge, spirituality, and all these things will be covered in the Gyan Kandam. So I hope that helps. And if you want me to cover any other subject or anything, any other chapter, or if you have questions, please leave a comment below. Thank you.